the Gentlementor.
What do you do? What do you do for fun, Mozo?
I play basketball.
You got two
I play
kids, man. You ain't got no time for fun.
Oh, come on.
I play basketball. I play baseball.
Yeah.
What else? Yeah, let's go Knicks. Let's go Mets. What else do I do for fun? Honestly, like I spend time with my kids for fun nowadays too.
Yeah.
That's another thing that I changed about my life as well. You start looking for fun, like to do fun things when you realize your fun is right here.
It's
like
right
this is
there.
this could be your fun. This is your fun right here. You know what I'm saying? Like not going to the club, not going to the bar, not going here. Yeah, that's cool here and there. That's cool to do that, but that's not where you should be looking for fun. My fun is my daughter wants to do a puzzle. Let's do this puzzle together. Come on, Dad, let's do this puzzle. It's a big old puzzle. It may take an hour and a half to do because while she's doing the puzzle, she's running around chasing the dog. But that's what fun. That's what fun is. You know what I'm saying? It's fun to do. And even when it comes to playing a video game with my son, that's fun right there. You want to play a video game with me? Let's play the video game. That's what fun is. But I'm big on sports. I love sports. I play sports all my life. So when it comes to fun and wanting to do something fun, that's really what that's really my go-to when it comes to that.
What about your son? Is he in the sports as well?
Yeah, we actually just got back from. He had a game. He plays little league. He had a baseball game.
Nice.
He had a game yesterday and a game today. Hopefully it's a little break from the next practice because I love it, but it's just like it's still cold out here, and standing in the cold, cheering him on is like doesn't warm me up enough.
And 10-year-old baseball is fun to watch, but not the fastest game.
Right.
Sports.
Like when if you watch baseball and play baseball, watching 10-year-olds play baseball is just like
yeah. No, I know. My son went through that phase too, and he completely dropped baseball and went straight for basketball, and which is so funny because I had never until my son started playing basketball, I probably had never watched an entire basketball game ever.
Oh yeah.
And just flipping around the channels, and I just never really been interested. But that's something, and that's kind of cool too, because it's something that's kind of brought out something in me, is that he's got this thing for basketball. And so last month I took him to a Grizzlies game in Memphis, and just absolutely loved it. And it was just for my first time ever to an NBA game. Anyway, it's cool to watch him, and it sparked something new in me that I didn't even know I had. It's like, oh, I can tolerate basketball. No, wait, I actually kind of like it. I still don't understand all the calls, but I still like it. It's fun.
That's cool. That's a beautiful thing.
So what do you feel like is the culmination or the ultimate thing for you, Mozo? If you had to pick an ultimate place you'd like to see your, I don't know, man, your passion take you. You seem like a guy who's not after some kind of career of self-development. You seem like a guy that's got kind of the heart of a ministry kind of person. And I don't mean that necessarily in a faith sort of way. I think of teachers and nurses as people who almost have a calling like a pastor.
Servants.
So
yeah.
It seems like you've got a purpose more than a career thing.
Sure.
So if you could imagine 10 years or 20 years down the road, where would you like to see that go?
Man, that's a good question, dog. Let me hop into my time machine.
Or however far you've imagined. Yeah.
No, man, you're writing the story, man. You're writing the story. You write whatever you want.
Yeah. To be honest, I live my life day to day. But if I wanted to look into the future as far as what I want to see, I just want to leave an impact, and I want to inspire, and that's what it is. And I'm already doing that with my children, and I know I'm doing that. I know that I'm doing that with my children. You know what I'm saying? So
right on.
As far as that, I'm proud of that. I know 15, 20 years from now, I know what I'm doing right now for my children and how I'm speaking to them and what I'm speaking to them about and things like the conversations that we have. And all that 15, 20 years from now, I'm going to be proud of that. You know what I'm saying? So I know I have that. Now, when it comes to a larger scale, I just want to help people, man. I want to help myself and help people. And when I mean help myself, I feel like we are all on a journey until we're not here anymore. So we can grow every single day. We can learn every single day. It's never infinite. Like it's never gonna end. You know what I'm saying? So like 20 years from now, I'll probably still be talking about my journey. I'm still gonna be talking about it. It's just gonna be 20 years
Yeah.
later
Oh
about
yeah.
how
Oh
I
yeah.
raised my kid, about how I raised my kids. Now, it might be on Instagram, it might be on some new
I was
social
gonna
media
say you'll
platform that may be
have
20 years from now.
stories and photo rolls, and they won't have
You know, like,
photo
who
albums
knows?
anymore. But
Like who knows where I'm gonna be talking about it, you know, but this is something that I'm gonna do for the rest of my life. And the reason I'm gonna do it is because it's helped me, right? Most importantly. And that's another thing that we gotta do better as people, you know, like you're not selfish by helping yourself, especially when it comes to this when you're doing this work, you guys are helping yourselves by having these conversations as well.
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
not
absolutely.
selfish. You know what I'm saying? You're growing and you're being better people by it. So I want to continue to better myself and grow. And anybody that I come in contact with that is open to having a conversation with me, I'm always open to have it. And that's what I'm going to continue doing for the rest of my life. If it happens to just be on
Love it.
social media for the rest of my life and doing it on Instagram, and that's what it is. If HBO calls me up and says, "Hey, you want to give you a show where you could talk?" Hello, HBO, I'm here.
Ooh.
Sign me up. I'm ready to
Hey,
do it.
Don't forget about Doug and
Whoever-
Mark.
Yeah.
Never
spread that HBO.
Never that.
Just,
But no, like
just-
really, like 15, 20 years from now, I think about that a lot. You know, even though I take it day by day, I do think about the future, but I try my best to not get caught up in thinking so far ahead into the future, because when you do that, you forget to live in the now and the
Mhm.
moment. And I want to live in now and in the moment. You know,
Yeah.
I don't want to think so much about when my kid is in college. Like, I know we think about that, and of course we gotta save money. He has an account for, you know, for all that stuff. But at the same time, you gotta enjoy when he's 10 years old right now. You gotta enjoy it. Because
Yeah.
one day he's not
Yep.
gonna be 10 years old anymore.
Yeah.
He's gonna be 20 years old. And not that you won't matter anymore, but that's it. You
yeah.
know what I'm saying? That's it. You know what I mean? And those are the little things that like I said, in this year that I've grown, it's things that I've learned to appreciate. You know, I learned to appreciate my family more. And I've always felt like I've appreciated them, but I feel like I really appreciate them.
On a
Yeah.
deeper
You know,
level.
like,
Yeah.
you know, like, it's one thing to say, yeah, I love my family, I'm working hard for my family, I'm doing this. But it's like I said, even something as simple as me doing a puzzle with my daughter and me taking the time to just do these kind of things, or, you know, having or being open with my wife and having a conversation with her about how I feel.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like you know, having those kind of conversations with my wife. That's something that I was never open to doing before. You know, and now I do it if I feel a certain way about something, whatever it is, instead of holding it in, or instead of projecting it in other ways, in negative ways, you know, whether it be just like ignoring or silent treatment or not talking and stuff like that. Just like saying how I feel. And if she gets upset about it, at least she knows how I feel, right?
Right.
So was there a moment or an event or something that happened a year ago, or something in your mind, or something that actually happened in your life that made you go, all right, I'm changing course right now. And this has got to change, or this is, and not that it's got to be a bad moment or whatever, but there is a moment where you went, all right, this is who I am. This is where I'm going. I'm taking the mask off. I'm doing this. Was there something that you can calculate, you could pinpoint?
Yeah, I think it definitely was like COVID. I think COVID did it. And by that, I mean, like, we were quarantined. We were all here at home. And I think that, like, a lot of people close to us lost family members, and things like that. And I think that it made me think about, do I really appreciate the life that I have? Do I really appreciate what I have? Do I really appreciate it? You know, and like I said before, appreciating doesn't mean that, yeah, hey, I'm working hard, I'm paying the bills, I'm doing what I gotta do. Like, really do appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? Like, and show them that you appreciate it. You know, and I think that that's really what sparked it all, you know, like, for me, because when I started my podcast, it was in August of 2020. So it was like towards the end of the summer. And I felt like all that time during COVID, like the months of like March, April, May, June, I was like very reflective of everything that was happening, was going on. And at the same time, I was also thinking about my life, right? Thinking about, like, what happens if I'm not here anymore? What did I leave behind to my kids? You know, like, did I have enough conversations with them? Did I talk to them? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what am I leaving behind? You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
Like, so those are the things that cross my mind. And you know, and I get emotional sometimes thinking about it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, when I think about those kind of things, I really get emotional, because I feel like when it comes to like my worst fear, if I had to think of a worst fear, it'd be like leaving nothing behind to my kids. And
Oh
by that
man.
I mean like
Jeez.
nothing materialistic, nothing of money, but like what did I leave behind
Right.
emotionally? You know what I'm saying? Like what did I leave behind?
Intangible
You know what I'm saying?
things.
All
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Like what did I leave behind? You know what I'm saying? Like I want my and I don't need my son to be making a speech at my funeral talking about, well, my dad always spoke to me every day, but he'll know inside that I love them.
Yeah.
You know, like he won't have a doubt. You know what I'm saying? You know how you said about your dad being 87, your dad being 83. You know what I'm saying? Like life could be very short and things can happen, right? So then if I wait so long to have these conversations with my son,
Right.
he may never know.
Yeah.
And then what? You know what I'm saying? Like what did I leave behind? And he's gonna raise his kid with the same way he thought I raised him, and then it's gonna continue, which is the same thing over and over again. But that's really what
Man, I
I
wrote
want
the
to do.
same. I wrote the same fear in my journal years ago. That and I listed out the things I was actually afraid of in my life, and one of them was to not have an inheritance, because Scripture talks about having an inheritance to leave for your kids, and that was something that I feared. And my father-in-law always used to tell me, he was like, Mark, the inheritance isn't necessarily monetary. And there's an inheritance of wisdom, there's an inheritance of legacy, there's an inheritance of the things that you teach him. And that was just revolutionary for me. And it helped me kind of overcome that fear. But I get exactly what you're talking about. As soon as you said that, that's when I was like, oh man, that fear of not having anything, leaving something for your kids, leaving something, but it's a legacy of, my dad was a real person, and he failed, and he lived, and he loved. And that's the thing. And I think I have that from my dad. And that's what I'm grateful for, is that, looking back on his life, and I'm like, he left me wisdom. And, he wasn't perfect. He wasn't the perfect dad. I'm not the perfect dad. None of us are the perfect dads, but it
Nobody's
was
perfect.
it's just so cool to look back and go, wow, he did it. He did exactly what I want to do too. He left something here and here that really made a transformation in my life, and hopefully in generations to come, like you were talking about. I love it, man. I love it. This is great. It's good stuff.
Super dope.
So what's if I can ask here, I'll ask another question, and you can either refuse to answer or you can answer whatever you want to do.
I'm gonna answer it.
Do it. You do it.
I think that's a
Show me.
challenge, Doug. Can you ask a question that he's going to refuse to answer? That's
Probably, but even then, I don't want the answer.
No, we don't want to hear it.
I'm wondering, man, what's the faith part of your life like? Would you grow up in faith? Any raised in church? Any got religious people in your family? What's any of that part of your life like? If it's there.
To be honest, like growing up, my mom was very religious. My dad was like religious, but not the type to go to church religious. Grew up Catholic.
Okay.
So I kind of got that from my dad. The whole, like, not that I don't feel comfortable going to a place of worship, but I believe that a lot of the faith that you can instill that without having to maybe go into to be in a group of people to do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like a lot of times, it's about really morals and really doing what's the right thing. You know what I'm saying? Doing what is right. You know what I mean? My mom is still super religious. And I love my mom to death. I really do, because she gives me so much positive energy from her because of the fact that she's so religious. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
She gives me that, and I feel it, and I take it in. You know what I'm saying? So I will never deny, but I'm not gonna sit here and say I'm the most religious person in the world, because I'm not. You know what I'm saying? I don't. Like I'm not somebody who's gonna go to church every Sunday, but I do believe and respect in people and their faith, because it's something that I know people use to keep going. I know something that my mom has taught me, that it's something that it's just important to have that, right? It's something important to have in order to, it's another way of being positive and staying positive. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And
that's kind of why I asked, because a lot of the things I was hearing you say were like, these are things I would expect to hear from someone who's like, they're really involved in like a church or something like that, whatever. But I whatever. It was my own curiosity.
I get that a lot from my mother. My mom spoke to me a lot. My dad didn't. I didn't have a lot of conversations with my dad growing up, even though my dad was there, he was working. So my mom was the one that would come into my room and talk to me and sit down. you know, and not just be like, not talk religious, but just talk to me, you know, like just keep me positive and stuff like that. And I feel like if y'all were to ever meet my mom, you would see, damn, he's just Mozo's just like his mom. Like he's just like his mom. My mom, so my mom is like a lot more quiet and low key, you know. And in a way, I am like that too. But I'm not afraid to speak my mind as well and say what I have to say. My mom is more, you know, like she'll be like, come on, like, you know, try to tell me to, like, whenever I had to say something as a kid and I wanted to say something, she'll be like, say it, you know, like it's okay, it's all right, you know, and I'll be like, no, I have to say it. I'll raise my hand and say it and stuff like that. But a lot of the positive energy and stuff like that, I definitely get it from my mother. I speak to my mom almost every day, and every single day she's always giving me that positive love that a mother's love that you can't replace that, man.
Word.
Do you feel, you said you had a sister?
Yeah, I have a younger sister. Yeah.
How is her relationship with your dad? How do you see that? Do you see it mirroring your relationship with your daughter? I know you said she's only 3, right? Only 3, but that's probably, did you say, how old is your daughter?
Yeah, my daughter's 3.
Okay.
3 years old, yeah.
Yeah. So how do you see that relationship? I just know there's a unique, you know, dynamic between a son and a mother. I have the same memories of my mom that you were talking about. And I think it's God's creation, the way he's done it that way. But then there's also that connection between a father and the daughter as well. How do you see that kind of transpiring in your relationship with your daughter?
You know, I think that I don't know the conversations that my father and my sister had, obviously, because that's the conversations they had, you know, growing up and stuff like that. But I do see that my sister, I feel like, I don't know if it's because I'm a man and I was a boy growing up, but I feel like my dad was definitely a lot like more open to being emotional with my sister than with me.
Okay.
You know, and even I mean, that to this day, I still feel that way. I feel like he's more open to maybe having a conversation that's an emotional conversation, or may lead to him being emotional, or, you know, I've seen him cry, you know, like, and stuff like that when it comes a lot more to her than it comes to me. You know, and I think it's a lot to do with, you know, again, like maybe he was raised that way, right? Like, you know, like you have a daughter, you're supposed to love her and be this kind of way. You have a son, you have to make sure he's militant, and, you know, he grows up to be tough, and he grows up to be that, you know, and we need love too. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I raised, when it comes to the relationship between my son and my daughter especially, you know, I make sure that I have not just a connection with her where she feels like my dad is my protector, but I want her to feel like my dad is somebody that I can talk to as well.
Yeah.
You know, and like, she's having boy problems with a boyfriend. You could talk to your dad too. It doesn't have to be your mother. You can talk to your dad too. You can feel oh, dad's gonna kill me. Dad's gonna kill him. No, let's have a conversation. Let's talk about it. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I'll have a conversation with him afterwards, you know, and it's not gonna lead to anything like that, but let's talk about it. You know, like I want her to feel open enough to talk to me about it. The same, and I'm doing it the same with my son, because I don't want, you know, like, as I've gotten older, I realized that boys need the same amount of love that the girls need. You know, boys and girls need the same amount of love, the same amount of, you know, that kind of stuff. So that's the kind of relationship I have with my daughter, and I'm always giving her positive affirmations. I always tell her every day she's beautiful, she's intelligent, she's strong, that she can grow up with self-esteem, and believe that she is, because we live in a world and a society where, since it's controlled by men, they try to just make women feel down, or make women want to think about how they look, or they don't look pretty enough, they don't look good enough. And now this is what happens, you know what I'm saying? And then your daughters grow up thinking like they have to look a certain way or be a certain way. No, baby, you're beautiful being you. You're beautiful the way you are, the way that you were born, the way that God created you. That's what's beautiful right there.
Right on.
You know what I'm saying? And you teach that at a young age. As they get older, they carry that with them, and ain't nobody gonna tell them anything.
That happens either way.
That's a good point.
Mozo, are you mentoring other young guys? Are you in a position where you're, I mean, are you doing that? I know you've probably got a following on your podcast that's probably listening to that, but I mean, are you doing that on a one-on-one basis? You got anything in the community that you're helping these young guys out with? Man, because some of the stuff you're talking about is just like, man, if I had a guy like you in my life when I was 12, 14 years old, 15 years old, or even 20 years old at your age, man, so much respect, so much would have changed in my life quickly.
Thank you. I really appreciate you saying that. And honestly, I've always done that. I've always had a great connection with the youth, which is why I always work with youth.
Yeah.
Right. And I feel like I said, that it comes across to that, like I said, that crossover appeal that I feel like I have, where they look at me, right, and they see me and they're like, oh, he looks like a cool dude,
Of
right?
course.
Cool
Yeah.
dude, right.
Sure.
Right. But then I start talking to them. But when it comes to kids, image is everything.
Right.
What they see
Absolutely
first
right.
is what it is.
Yep.
If you look a certain way, they're already blocking you off. Or he looks like he's corny. He looks like a corny dude. I ain't gonna listen to him. Why would I listen to him? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I use that to my advantage, and I'm able to have real conversations with kids. I work in a juvenile detention center, and
yeah, I want to hear about that.
And a lot of kids, they first off, they have rough upbringings, their environment, gang culture, things like that. And like you said, one-on-one conversations are the best, because when kids are around their peers and around other kids, you never get to see the real kid.
Yeah.
They feel like they have to act a certain way. They're not gonna look tough. But the one-on-one conversations that you have with them is really what really keeps me going. And I say that because when you're able to have a conversation with a kid that you feel like he's not, when you have sometimes with kids, you talk to them and like in a one-on-one, and they'll tell you things that you never thought you would hear. You know what I'm saying? Like you sit there and you're like, and you just have to listen. You ask one thing and they'll just start talking and start telling you about how they feel, think about what's going on at home, things like that, start talking to you, and for me, that's what grows in their relationship, where now they feel like they feel comfortable enough to have any conversation with me. And I can also bring up anything to talk to them about, So when it comes to mentoring, it's something that I mentor everybody I come across. That's what I do. I mentor anybody I come across. And by
I believe that.
I do too.
There could be a 25-year-old man who just became a dad, and he's telling me about his, like that. So I'll just be, I'll just ask him a question like, hey, so like, how's it going? Like how's fatherhood been so far? And he's like, the same thing you guys said, like how we don't go deep into it, right? Because we're like, yeah, it's cool, like, yeah, he cries, da da da. I'm like, yeah, but yo, let me tell you something. When I was a dad, I was so scared, man. Like I didn't know what I was gonna do. I was gonna die.
Yeah.
And next thing you know, he's saying, yeah, yo, you telling me like, yo, it is kind of scary, right? You know what I'm saying? But things like that, like, because now you're having a conversation with somebody where it doesn't feel like it's a forced conversation, but I'm just opening up about myself, that I feel like I can do that. Like I'm free to open myself up and have those conversations, so that if somebody feels free and open to open up as well, they can do that too, and it doesn't work. It's not for everybody as well, because not everybody's ready to open up sometimes.
No.
Not everybody's ready. Not everybody's on their own journey. So not everybody sometimes is ready to open up and have those kind of conversations. But if someone is, when you ask them that kind of question, they might open up and tell you how they feel about it. And they may reflect on it and be like, damn.
Yep.
I am scared. Right. I am scared to be a father. That was kind of scary. You know what I'm saying? Like, hell yeah, it's scary. Like, what you mean kind of scary? Of course it's scary. Like, you just brought a whole human to this.
No kidding.
Whole human
You're
now.
responsible for this human. Yeah.
But one thing that I do want to do, and I'm gonna start looking into, Mark, since you asked, is now that COVID it seems like the world is coming back to a little bit of normalcy, right? I do want to go to different schools and speak, especially to middle school kids, before middle school age, like, which is 11 to 14, that kind of age range, because I feel like that's the best age to really get them, because once they get to high school, especially 16, 17, 18-year-olds, sometimes, not that you can't get through to them, but it's a little more difficult because of the fact that they're a little older now. You know what I'm saying? So it's something that I'm definitely looking into doing. I thought about doing it through Zoom, but I feel like I just want to have my presence felt, and it's something that I'm definitely gonna be looking into when it comes to this summer. I'm gonna start reaching out to a few schools. So hopefully when the school year starts, I'm able to do it. Like, I'm gonna do it for free. I'm willing to do it for free, you know what I'm saying, and start off and see where it goes from there. Maybe I'll start up with my son's school, maybe I'll start up, and start moving up from there. But I definitely, I'm open to just making the world a better place. I always say this, making the world a better place, man.
I love it. I love it. Pour yourself out, man. That is great. That's
So the night I saw you, you did some like a spoken word. Is
Yeah.
that something you do like on the regular? Is that just
Like-
something you did for that night?
like a prophecy or like a
Is there
poem?
is there more of that, or what's the scoop on
Um, I've always written poetry.
nice.
When I was growing up, one of my close friends gave me the Tupac Shakur. It was a Tupac poetry book, and it was full of Tupac's poems. Some that he wrote when he was just, like, it wasn't raps. Like it was
Didn't realize he was a
Tupac.
poet.
Right. It was Tupac opening up, being vulnerable, and sharing his emotions. And that inspired. I think back to myself. I'm like, damn, I've always had this in me. I've
Mhm.
always wanted to be this person.
Yeah.
But once again, I felt like I couldn't be this person because I felt like I wasn't going to be accepted. You know what I'm saying? So I've always been the type to write stuff down, and I have my notebook that's full of. I have a billion notebooks, and my wife is gonna throw away one day because I just leave them laying around everywhere. But I have a billion notebooks of my notes with stuff that I write. When All Men Cried, they opened that up, and they were like, they said, are you down to take part in this? I was like, of course, you know what I'm saying? And that was the piece that I read that night was, "Am I man enough?"
Right.
Am I man enough? And that was something that had already started. Like, a lot of times I start my pieces and I just don't finish them because like my daughter, things happen, and I'm somebody who really needs to be in a state of mind, quiet, to really get my stuff done. So, I finished it and I was able to perform it. Have I performed a lot? Not really like publicly. I haven't, like I haven't really performed like that, like in a public space. And I'm open to doing that. Like I said, listen, once the world opens up again, you're gonna be seeing a lot of Mozo out in the streets.
Oh, great.
And it's not gonna be old Mozo. It's gonna be the evolved Mozo.
As you're talking about,
I'm tired of seeing dude with a sign.
Yeah. As you're talking about going out into schools and having these one-on-one conversations, and you're talking about opening yourself, and I'm thinking that vulnerability is so powerful. It takes so much courage, first of all, to be willing to be vulnerable enough to let someone in, because you don't know what somebody's going to do once they get inside your business. But it made me think the exact same thing about the poetry. And what I thought was, and you'll have to forgive me, I do this to people all the time.
No, I'm probably
You
thinking the same thing.
you should be doing video content of those poems, even if it's just you videotaping you like doing a reading like you did, and put that stuff up, man. That'll speak to people too. That's material you've already got, and it would take you 10 minutes to go do. You could probably burn through 15 or 20 of them, record them, and cut them up into little single ones and put them up. And I think people would love that. I think that would add one more way that you can kind of pour yourself into the community, into the world. I think it would offer a big positive to a lot of people. So let me just encourage you to do that.
I would
Thank you,
second
Doug.
that.
Thank you, Mark. I'm
No,
definitely
and
gonna...
thank you. If you do it, you better tell me, because I want to watch him.
Yeah, I want to watch him too. What if? Okay, all right. So on that vein, hold on, Mozo. I got you. We're just all full of great stuff, and you can throw any of this out you want. What if that was your platform when you went into junior highs, man? I mean, this dude walks out on the stage, cool looking dude, the way you look, and he breaks out in this poetic rap. I don't know, whatever, whatever. I didn't see it, so I'm missing out on that. There's a gap there. But what if you were vulnerable and encouraging like you are here with us in that poetic setting, and people are just like, wow.
Because
Cool.
that piece you did that night, that wasn't just like poetry. I mean, that stuff, that's almost confrontational. I mean, think about that. Think about like walking into an auditorium full of young people and being able to take something like that in a positive way, confront somebody with it, and be able to get in somebody's face and ask them, "Are you man enough? Am I man enough?" I think it's like, man, that just seems like a really powerful opportunity.
And disarming too.
Wow. like nothing. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah, because it's not like you're just starting up an argument with them, but you break off in this.
Sorry,
this...
I didn't come here to pitch
Okay.
you an idea.
Anyway.
But I was like, yeah, I want to
No.
see. I want to see you do that now. I
That
want to
would be
watch you
awesome.
do that.
That's actually a great idea that I'm writing down. I'm gonna write down, and Doug, I'm not gonna forget about it. I'm gonna mention you. Like, I'm gonna say, just so y'all know, my boy Doug, my boy Mark, they inspired this. You know what I'm saying? Because they said they saw me doing this. They saw this vision of me doing this, so I had to do it. Just so y'all know, because I
just think that would kill in middle school or something. You came out like that.
Absolutely. And then you take it out on the court and just show them how to dunk, man. Yeah.
Most definitely, man. Listen, I'm super excited for what's to come, and I just feel that the reason why is because I love doing these things over Zoom, because it connects people. We're far away from each other, right? Like where you guys are down the block in Brooklyn, and we're here having this conversation. But at the same time, if I did want to go down the block in Brooklyn and speak to a group of kids, I feel like once things are going back to normal, I'll be able to do that. And I haven't been able to do it yet since I've evolved. I haven't been able to do it because of the fact that COVID has still been going on. You know what I'm saying? So I'm super excited for what's to come, in the next few months, because I feel like I'm ready to do this. Like I'm ready to just hit the stage, hit the corner, whatever it is, hit the stage and hit the corner. Hitting the corner meant something else when I was younger, but I'm gonna hit the corner with some positivity. That's what I'm gonna do.
Right on.
For sure. Well, and I tell you, we're gonna be watching, because you are one to watch right now, for sure, especially in this space right now. And if there is anything that we can do to help, man, we would be honored, I think, to spread the word about what Mozo is doing. Absolutely, because we would get behind you 100%. Yeah.
One of the big reasons to have you on was not just so I wanted to get to know you, because like I said, I've been watching the stuff you've been doing. I've been following your Instagram stuff, and I'm like, this is somebody I want to get to hang out with. Sure. I want to get to know him. Sorry, I keep hitting this microphone. But I want the people that we know would never, ever have a chance to interface with someone like you. I mean, you are culturally, just being from a city, completely like it's like from another planet. Yeah, well, you're more a city than I am, but yeah.
Oh man, y'all too funny. Y'all should do comedy. You know that?
No, man. I was up in Newark and Poughkeepsie just last month, man, and this aggravates me, because I was like, man, I could have totally taken a detour into Brooklyn, and I missed the George Washington Bridge like 6 times before I finally found the right exit. So that's just miserable up there, man. I feel for you. That's tough. Traffic's nothing like that here in poor little Missouri.
The way I see it, like this, we build this connection, and it's connection for life. You know what I'm saying? You never know. You never know if you guys ever come to Brooklyn and we can meet up for a meal, for a drink, whatever the case may be, or if I'm around Yahweh, that kind of stuff. So, like the same way y'all said that y'all open to helping me out. I'm right here for y'all as well, for whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, the reason I came on this show is because I see that you guys are full of positivity and trying to make the world a better place, and that's what it's about. And it's not a lot of men having these kind of conversations and sharing it in a place like Instagram, where a lot of times all you see is negativity and toxic stuff. Like, so
yeah.
I appreciate y'all for real. Like, I really do, because y'all inspire me as well. You know what I'm saying? And that's how it works. We inspire each other to continue just growing and being better people.
Well, I'm so honored and thrilled that you agreed to do this. It's hard for us to imagine. This is what we sit around talking about. Man, I wish people would come on and talk to us, because it's just fun to talk to people. We want to get to know people. And we never think about, it's intimidating. If you've never just had a conversation with somebody, oh yeah, dial this number up. Hope for the best, who knows what's going to happen.
Yeah.
So yeah, it takes some nerve, and we've had some people, and we've had great conversations with people.
Yeah.
And so I just want to say thanks again, man. I'm not trying to cut us off or anything, but as long as we're all just patting each other on the back, I wanted to throw some pats in the back in there and say, appreciate what you do. Appreciate you coming and being with us, man.
For sure. We want to respect your time. And yeah, man, we love you. We love what you're doing. And keep it up, man. This is great. This is just listening to you just as inspiring.
Yeah.
It is. It's great.
It really underlines my laziness.
Nah, no. Don't say that.
Like, well, I'm on Zoom trying to make the world a better place.
Man, you're editing all this stuff every day, man.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, man. You put in the work too. Yeah. I feel like you upload a video every single day. You know what I'm saying? Like a part of a video every single day. So y'all definitely doing y'all thing. So listen, Doug, don't be so hard on yourself, man.
I'm not.
You're definitely putting in the work. We're all putting in the work. You know what I'm saying? Like us having this conversation, like I say all the time, even if it doesn't go anywhere, like past the three of us, all three of us right now, just now, we all had a moment where I said something, you said something, Doug or Mark, one of y'all said something where we felt it, we were inspired by it, it left an impact, it left something behind where we're gonna sit back later today and be like, damn, we really spoke about this.
Oh,
damn,
man.
you know what I'm saying? Like that, and that's
I'm
what
better
matters.
because of it. Yeah.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. And that's the reason why I do what I do, brother. You know what I'm saying? It's because every time I have a conversation with somebody, I feel like I learned something.
Yeah.
Like,
always.
I learned something about myself.
Every single time.
I learned something about myself because of something Doug said or because of what Mark said. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's the way the world works. That's the way life works. You learn because of what other people say and other people's stories sometimes, you know? Yeah. So before we go, I also want to say that I appreciate y'all. I got nothing but love from y'all. And thank you for having me on, really, you know, because for me, this is just the beginning. You know what I'm saying? This is just the beginning, and I'm just getting started. And you know, and people think that, you know, like this takes so much work to do, you know, and it does take time to do it. It does take time and dedication to do, but I think that the most difficult thing to do is really being honest and real with yourself. That's really the most difficult thing. Forget recording a video, forget saying this what you're gonna say. It's about really being honest with yourself, you know, and looking yourself in the mirror and talking to yourself. Like, I don't know about y'all, but self-talk has been the most beautiful thing for myself. You know what I'm saying? I wake up in the morning, I tell myself, listen, today's gonna be a great day. You know what I'm saying? Today's gonna be a great day. And even if it's not, because it's something that you can't control, you're gonna be all right. And once I tell myself that, I'm able to start my day. And you wake up in a mood where, oh, it's raining outside. Even something as small as raining outside. Listen, I hate getting my hair wet when it's raining. It's raining outside. Ah, dang, what am I gonna do, right? You know, but it is what it is, you know, and it's little things like that, you know, it's not always gonna be sunny outside. It's sometimes gonna rain, sometimes it's gonna be this, but you know, we'll make it through.
Yeah. That's what your son says on the video on the YouTube. I love that. He says there's always gonna be some jerks out there, always gonna be something not going right. Learn to appreciate your life. It's like
and it's one more thing I want to say. Say.
Go ahead,
man. One thing I want to say.
You're not on the clock.
To anybody out there who has kids or anything like that, like make sure you have conversations with your kids, talk to your kids, you know what I'm saying? Because even though you don't think it, kids, one thing that I learned a long time ago before I had children, because I was working with youth, that they see, they hear everything that you do, everything.
Absolutely.
They're watching
more than you know. Yes.
Yep. They're watching everything you do, all your moves, what you say, and everything else. You know, so it doesn't mean don't be your real self, but that'll make you think about who are you as a person? What are you doing? What are you putting out there in this world? You know what I'm saying? What are you doing? What is it you want your kids to see? Because if you really love your kids, you want your kids to see the best version of yourself, right? So then how do we be the best versions of ourselves? By being honest to ourselves and then working on what we need to work on and building on what we need to build on. You know, so for anybody that has kids, talk to your kids, man. Talk to them. Don't be afraid to talk to them. And it's never too early to have any type of conversation with your kids because you can make it age appropriate for them. You know, if you have a 5-year-old, make it an age appropriate conversation about whatever it may be. You have a 10-year-old, you know, it's never too, oh, he's still young. He's still watching you. He's still learning. He's still watching TV. He's still listening to his friend at school. You know what I'm saying? So if you don't speak to them, something else and someone else will speak to them.
That's absolutely right. Yeah. That's absolutely, man, we could go another hour on this, Dominic. We gotta stop. gotta stop.
All right, all right.
'Cause
All right.
I gotta go have some birthday cake because it's my
Something-
girlfriend's
All right, all
birthday
right.
today.
My bad,
Something-
Mark. My bad,
some-
Mark.
No, no, no.
Once I get going, I don't.
No,
stop.
I love it.
Oh,
I
no,
love
no.
it, man. We could
The
go.
only thing you got to do is promise to come back, because
Yes.
that's
Yes,
all we
please.
need is
Listen.
more. All we need is
Of
more.
course, yeah.
Good.
So thank you again. I appreciate you, Doug. I
Thank you,
appreciate
brother,
Mark. It was a pleasure meeting y'all. And continue doing what y'all doing.
You
'Cause
too,
we need
brother.
it.
Thanks, Mozo.
And let's do this again in the
We
future.
will for sure. Take care, buddy.
Stuff.
Have a good
All right,
evening,
Let
brother.
me know. Peace.
Yeah,
See you,
Peace and
everybody.
love.
will do.
The Gentlementor.